Aw shoot, here I go again looking for the president's daughter. Except this time, it's different. This time, the president gave me special orders to only use rocket launchers. But sir, I said, surely if I only use rocket launchers, your daughter at some point will be blown all over the surrounding walls and ceiling. Then the president slowly looked over at me, got right in my ear and said,
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Okay, the Toby memes are getting old, I know. Anyway, can you beat Resident Evil 4 with only rocket launchers? Let's find out, baby. I started my journey in a van with two strangers and I just couldn't get that banging music out of my head.
It's freezing. So cold all of a sudden.
Yeah, right. He's only saying that because Leon looked out the window and saw his small peepee. Nice try, Emilio. I arrived at the first house and immediately failed the challenge. No! Now listen, of course I couldn't get past the first guy. There's no way for me to get a rocket launcher without going through New Game Plus, and the merchant doesn't pop up until later. But you boys will want to stick around to see how I got past the Twin Wolverines. You'll want to see my strategies for areas like the clock tower and trap rooms. And really, you'll want to see the sad story of El Thick Boy and the penetrative rocket launcher. Let's just say, you should never bend over when a rocket launcher is pointed at you. So getting back into it, I ran for my damn life, but I couldn't help but notice the little dog. I helped him, not only because it was the right thing to do, but also because he'd be useful to me in the near future. Let's quickly name off the rules. Rule number 1, I can only use my rocket launcher as a weapon, and this also counts for inanimate objects. The pegs in the clock tower, they can only be shot with rocket launchers. The crates at the waterfall, RPGs only, baby. Why is this difficult? Because RPGs are expensive as hell. Will I have enough money to get through this? Only God himself knows. Rule number 2, I can use my knife on boxes and locks because rocket launchers aren't free, and if I'm not collecting any loot, what's the point? And rule number 3, I chose the special night costume that makes Ashley invincible, and I chose normal difficulty to see how far I could really take this challenge. Remember, I'm not trying to impress you boys with my sick gamer skills. I'm purely doing this to see how much of the game I can get through with just rocket launchers. Also, I had a handgun in my inventory at all times just in case I got stuck somewhere, but I'll let you sweet honeys know if I ever use it. Okay, enough rules, let's get into it. I'm gonna skip by most of the first subchapter because it's pretty easy to get through without weapons. Other than Gerald! Now, I know what you're thinking. Dante, how do you get by the tripwire? Get by the tripwire? What, do you think I'd just crawl under it like a normal human being? Hell no! I threw my goddamn body right into it. Leon's ribcage was fractured in 7 different places, but at least he was still alive. And here I found Lewis! So I asked Lewis if he had seen the president's daughter.
Name's Leon. Came here looking for this girl. Seen her?
Oh, Lewis, you just got pranked! But Lewis isn't the golden boy of this part. Oh no, it's the merchant. I needed that juicy merchant. He'd be the lifeblood of this challenge. At this point, I could finally buy my first rocket launcher. Well, yes and no. Technically, I could buy my first RPG, but I'd have no use for it until I got to El Thick Boy, or at least, that's what I thought. So I told the merchant to have a nice day, gave him a little kissy on the forehead, and went on my merry way. Skipping ahead a bit, I met up with the chainsaw guy again, and this time, I allowed him to break down that darn door. Never again, brother. Your kneecaps are safe with me. And then a bit more ahead, this happened. Gerald! You had one job! I guess that's why everybody hates Gerald. And of course I go through Shrek's swamp. I defeat the fishy boy with harpoons because that's literally the only way to dispose of him. And here I came to my first use of the rocket launcher. Was it the El Thick one? No, it was the hanging boxes. Absolutely ridiculous. Now I know what you're thinking. How is this challenge even difficult, Dante? The rocket launcher is the strongest weapon in the game. That's true, but don't forget how much money they are. 30,000 petas! It's not overly expensive, but when I need to keep buying rocket launchers for every enemy or box that gets in my way, it adds up fast. I was even selling all of my full heals to gather enough chump change to get through this challenge. And at this point I had 177,000 petas, enough for 5 RPGs. That may seem like a lot, but don't forget, that's only because I hadn't used a single rocket yet. I was chillin', thought to myself, alright, I can definitely afford 3 rocket launchers, let's go. And so I bought one, put it in my inventory, and the next rocket launcher was sold out. What? I can only carry 1 rocket launcher at a time? Listen here, you piece of shit. You can't cheat me out like this. I have the room, and I have the cash. Now sell me another one.
What you need that for? Going hunting an elephant?
I am hunting El Elefante. You know, in this run, I thought my most fearsome enemies would be Krauser, guys on the military island, or maybe even my own bank account. But no! It was the merchant! He was my worst enemy and screwed me over by only selling me 1 rocket launcher at a time. God, give me strength, for I'm feeling the urge to sin. And by that, I mean murdering the goddamn merchant. This 1 rocket rule would be a problem. So I had to go back and forth, dodging the doodle bobs, shooting a crate, dodging them again, and then buying another rocket launcher. At the end of it, I was down 90,000 petas, but my masculinity was up 30%. Then we come to the only guy in the game wearing glasses. Adorable. And it was time to fight El Thick Boy. I dodged him for a bit, but Leon noticed the dog.
Hey, it's that dog.
And everything was going according to plan. And then the stars aligned and everything was put perfectly into place. Doggy distracted El Thick Boy just as I had predicted. El Thick Boy bent over for a slam dunk attack, and I shot a rocket up his butt. The explosion even nibbled at his balls. Oh god! He just couldn't handle it. He screamed in agony and instantly fell over dead. But what man wouldn't fall over dead from a rocket entering his atmosphere? I showed his ruptured poo-poo hole my respects and went on to find Ashley. Now trust me, I didn't like Ashley wearing her armor since it makes her invincible. But it's not a cheat or a mod, and it's not even New Game Plus. This is like any normal game I'd play, but Ashley has a night suit and I mainly made her wear it for the water room because I did not see myself getting through there with only 1 launcher. And of course, Ashley and I set off on our adventure. Wait guys, where's Ashley? And what's that sound? We ended up making it to the farm and I realized that for the first time in a long time, I didn't need to shove Ashley in the trash. Huh, I guess we really don't need this anymore. Today, you aren't the piece of trash you usually are, Ashley. Congratulations. And blah blah blah, we made it to the cabin with my homeboy Lewis. I instantly took control of the situation and told Lewis to watch the window while I barricaded any other entrances. It was my time to shine and it was my time to impress Lewis. Everything was building up to this and I wasn't about to let him down. So I pushed up against the shelf as hard as I could to make sure no one would bust past me. I'm doing this for you, Lewis! And it was working! I smiled as I pushed harder and harder, realizing every second that I was protecting Lewis with my life. This part was tough, even on normal mode, but I was eventually able to get by it without using my rocket launcher because of my sick gamer skills. And here, the impossible happened. Ashley was actually useful. She was a perfect shield for the baseball boys. It really brings a tear to my eye to see her finally earn my respect. But don't worry, I'm sure she'll lose it later. Oh yeah, and I killed the 2 ski lift jumpers the same way I did the crates. With pure masculinity and of course, motivation from Will Smith himself. Then out of the blue, I had come to another failure. The dumb thing about the bosses in this game is that sometimes they take 2 stages to kill, like the Big Cheese for example. Shooting him with 1 rocket launcher does almost nothing because he still has another stage to defeat after that, and at that point, I'm weaponless. And because the stupid merchant won't sell me more than 1 RPG at a time, there's nothing I can do but knife Le Fromage until he hits his 2nd stage and then off him with a rocket after. I have enough money and inventory space, but no! That's not good enough!
My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined.
I guess I'll count that as failure number 3. Big boom boom happens, we make it to the castle unscathed, and this is where the run gets difficult. If you guys are enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate it if you click that thumbs up button as it helps my channel to grow and reach new people. It's basically a free way to support me. The catapult part was really easy, I just timed my turns with the fireballs, this happened, and then we made it to Wolverine, who was easily taken out with 1 throat shot. Now, the water hall I was really concerned about, but this was also the entire reason why I chose Ashley's night costume. You see, I could get through this entire area without a single RPG, and let me show you how it's done. Ashley and I trigger the yellow floor things. The thing pops up, we escape. We come back in, but the boys don't see us. We walk around and the boys still don't see us. I tell Ashley to do something other than curl up into a ball and to put in some manual labor. And beep boop bop, the stairs are down. This part I was really proud of because I used my big brain for it. I boosted Ashley up.
I threw out my bag!
And she started cranking. But oh no, look! The bad guy's about to get her! Ha! It was all going according to plan. So luckily, when a crank is let go of in this game, it doesn't actually reset. It'll stay at the same point it was left at when it was abandoned. So all I had to do was dodge around the bottom floor until Ashley had slowly cranked both cranks to completion. I caught her, and we were out of there. And this is where I came to a real pain. The red boy room. I was gonna make a big deal about this part and explain how it killed my soul, but looking back at the recording, it only took me 10 minutes and I easily blew the man up at his little machine gun stand. You guys want to hear about the dirtiest move I ever played on the merchant? He was in his little room by himself minding his own business when I happened to walk in. Being the little explorer I am, I decided to open a cabinet right beside the merchant and I found a beautiful decorative mirror. Actually, let's be real here. The mirror looked like a pile of dog shit. Anyway, I looked over and noticed the merchant looking at me with his peripheral vision. He was pretending he wasn't looking at me, but it was pretty obvious. It was gonna be a risky one, boys. So like Indiana Jones, I carefully snagged the mirror, limped over to the merchant, and sold him the damn mirror that he easily could have found himself at any point. I'm sorry, but I gotta say, that was a real mad lad move. So of course there was a wine bottle, and yes, I admit, it was a little overkill with a rocket launcher, but it worked. I busted my way out of there with a knife, and somebody mentioned in my mine thrower only video that me kicking open this cage on the enemy killed him and that I failed. Well, guess what? He doesn't die! Suck on that, random commenter. And here's where the run started falling apart. We have the saddest gamer moment in history, but right after this is the second saddest gamer moment in history. Trying to save Ashley. This part consists of 3 separate stages. One where we free Ashley, one where we off 3 guys, and another one where we have to extinguish even more guys. But there's only one problem. I can only carry 1 RPG. God damn it! I do have a saving grace though. In the room right before this, there's a rocket launcher you can pick up for free. And guess what? If you already have a rocket launcher on you from the merchant, you can finally carry 2 RPGs. But this still doesn't solve my problem because I need a 3rd shot. And so I'm sad to admit that I needed to use the mine thrower to help me out with freeing Ashley here. Trust me, I tried everything here to help me out. I tried leaving the area, I tried seeing if after a while of enemies picking up Ashley they'd die, but nothing seemed to work. So in the end, I had to use 1 mine thrower dart to save her, 1 rocket to blow up the 3 single guys, and I had to time my 2nd rocket perfectly to defeat the final wave of enemies all at once. So that's RPG fail number 4. The lava part wasn't that bad, and Ashley and I finally arrived to the night and trap rooms. The trap rooms were extremely tricky to get down, but after a few tries of aiming right in the center, the blast was enough to hit all 4 red glowing dots. And as for the night room, I don't count it as a fail. Why? Because on the Japanese version of the game, which I don't own, the night room is closed off and the chalice is already in place. It's not fair to me that I'm forced to play on normal when I would have chosen easy, so even though I had to use a flashbang and my knife here, I'm not counting it. I made it to the bug part and decided it was best to use 2 rockets here, one to kill every single bug boy in sight and another to blow the bridge down. Trust me, not exterminating all of the bugs makes this part damn near impossible with no healing items. Then I arrived at the clock tower. This part required some big brain maneuvers. What I ended up doing was similar to the waterfall crates. I'd buy an RPG, dodge the cannonballs, enter the clock tower, blow up a piece of wood, leave, dodge the cannonballs again, rinse and repeat. The first time I did this, I pulled the crank immediately and went to get my final rocket launcher to off the Wolverine twins. But to my sad realization, the bridge was out. So I had to redo this whole goddamn part, run past the gentlemen of the bridge, and finally put an end to the blind ones. Disabilities or not, if I have a rocket launcher in my hands, you're going down. I used my vertigo door trick, drowned 1 thick boy in lava, shot the other one, and was really salty that I couldn't end his life the same way I did to his brother. Oh well. I would have used a rocket on both of them, but the door locks once you get in there. The minecart was a super pain, and I ended up having to use my handgun on the pulley whatevers because I used my rocket on the trap room and couldn't go back. Yes, I could have used the glitch to skip by this part, but I stuck with it like a man, wasted all of my precious heals, and finally made it to the end game. The elevator is another part where I failed, and again, it's only because of my 1 RPG limit. I slammed a rocket down Salazar's throat, got to the military island, and look! That bin says recycle! Maybe these men aren't monsters after all. Look, to be frank with you mad lads, the military island for me was mostly running, so I'll only be going over the important parts real quick. First, we got Spiky Spikerson, boom, dead in one shot. Then we got to the tractor part, and unfortunately, I had to use the handgun again. Then of course, we have to fight Squidward Tentacles. Here I had to use my handgun in the crate, and I had to use my knife on him because like the big cheese, he has 2 stages. Krauser could only be taken out with a few knife slashes and then an RPG. Leon downed some pills without water like a total mad lad, and I had to Allah Akbar myself to a group of boys because I didn't have an RPG on me and the red bandana guy needed to go. And so I finally made it to Saddler. Had to use some cranes on him because he wouldn't go down with just one rocket launcher explosion, and Ada's red RPG finished the job nicely for Ashley and I to escape beautifully. This entire challenge was a shit show. Starting this challenge, I thought I could buy multiple RPGs from the merchant, but I was wrong and I'm so salty that I wasted my time on such a crappy challenge. Challenge failed, but I hope it was entertaining for you guys. And by the way, are you guys getting sick of Resident Evil 4 videos? I feel like I've made too many. I do still have to do the no guns challenge, but that won't be for a while. Comment below if you think I'm making too many Resident Evil 4 videos. If you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe to me because I make new gaming challenge videos every week. Guys, my appendix burst, okay? Give me some slack. Make sure you click that bell button or else you pretty well aren't subscribed to me. Just make sure you click that bell. Thanks for watching. Check out the many other gaming challenge videos on my channel, and I'll see you thick boys in my next video.